So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockyer takes the shot. It's low. He's got it. I think he's got it.
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On.
Oh!
15 love.
Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down.
Please, the players are ready.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. The players are ready to record. Quiet, please.
Quiet, please, in the audience.
In the first corner, we've got Tom Farrelly. He seeds third in the world at Australian Open, specifically tennis. In the right corner, we've got Jacob,
Who has no seed. He's sterile. Oh, sorry, his tennis ranking. 69.
69 in the world. Seedless in his ball sack, but 69 seeds to his name. Tonight, they face off on an Australia Day special. An all-time first. OTAT, the Australian Open episode.
Australia Day?
More like
Are you sure about that? Do you want to maybe just correct yourself there, pal?
Invasion Day.
Just 26th of Jan.
Just the 26th of Jan. Don't know if we're going to go there as far as politically speaking.
I don't think we're educated enough to.
As far as opening that debate up.
Nah,
that's
everyone's
a fight
wrong.
for another podcast. Everyone's wrong, is that what you said?
Yeah, including me.
Everyone's wrong except me. Everyone else fighting about it has bad opinions, but I have a good one.
I went to the Bottle yesterday in preparation of the public holiday. The guy was like, "G'day, mate. How you going?" I was like, "Yeah, good." He's like, "Yeah, you're getting prepared. You getting excited for tomorrow?" I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You getting excited for Australia Day?" I was like, "Oh, you mean Invasion Day?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever. It's fucking." He just like, and he started going on like, "Yeah, it fucking sucks, doesn't it? Fucking, it's called this, that." And I was like, "Yeah, look, it's a public holiday. That's all I'm going to call." He's like, "That's all you need to call it." It's like, thanks, Barry.
That's as honest of a conversation you're going to get from the BWS clerk.
From the drive-through Bottle at the Paddo Tavern, where the guy's haircut it looked like a Mortal Kombat haircut, where it was like, he had like meter-long hair, but it was all on like the middle, like not even like the top of his head, like the middle like third of his head. It was
As
all
in
just,
receding?
No.
Like, just like mohawk.
Yeah, just mohawk, but it was all tied back into a ponytail.
Jesus
It's like,
Christ.
all right, cool. I'm not going to take political advice off you.
That's where political conversations go to, I guess, die. The
Paddo.
The Paddo Bodlo drive-through. Like,
Can something really die if it never really existed? Did political conversation ever really occur at the McGuire's drive-in?
I've seen a good Q&A style back and forth in the Paddo smokers area at 7 p.m. on a Friday night.
I think we both have.
Two titans of the left and the right just going head to head.
See, yeah, us going into the smoker section and there's one dude just standing there on his body's on a 45-degree angle. His eyes are just going off in different directions.
Well, he's on the left. He's left leaning, quite literally.
His name was Tom as well, actually.
No.
No, I'm serious.
really
it was.
I thought you were saying it was me.
I'm not, no. So I said as well, not everything's about you, Farrelly.
Was this? Oh, you're talking about a real life event, aren't you?
Do you remember that conversation?
Cooked unit?
Yeah, he just came up to us. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm Tom. I'm fucked on ketamine."
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got a whole shipping of vapes." I was like, "Oh, how'd you get those?" He's like, "Oh, my mate stole a box off the road." Your mate stole a box of vapes off the road, And now you're telling us a story while you're leaning into a fucking different dimension.
Literally. And he was so appreciative because he was kind of coming up to us and the people we were with. And we weren't like too pissed or anything. So we kind of gave him the time of day.
No, well, the reason he did is because he was cracking on to like one of the girls.
The girls that we were with.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Not the girls we were with. They were with
friends.
us. Yeah.
Come
on.
We wouldn't allow that.
No.
Come on. You're going to come and cut this grass? Right here.
Celebrity? How about in celebrity?
But he was so appreciative of just the fact that we didn't shut him down instantly. A guy coming out just fucked on ketamine and going, I've gone up to 10 other people tonight just for a chat and they've all told me to fuck off, but not you guys. And we're like, yeah, well, maybe we should have told you to fuck off.
Maybe if you could read body language, you translate that to leave us alone.
Yeah, we're just too nice. That's our problem. We work too hard. We're too kind to people, and we're too accepting of ketamine addicts.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, takes one to know one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I've never done horse trank.
I've never done something that's used to sedate an animal.
Not yet. We don't stop. We have public holidays. Most people, what they do on public holidays, they might sleep in.
Or get double time and a half.
They might go to work and get double time and a half. They might have a couple of beers around the pool. What OTAT does is they come into the studios at 9:30 a.m. And they get to work.
Like a young Tony Hawk, we're just grinding.
Oh, we grind.
Except he was never known for grinding. But that's a subject for our skateboarding podcast.
Which is coming up. Keep your eyes peeled.
Didn't really give a proper introduction, but you are listening to the #1 podcast that reviews free-to-air television. Welcome back to On the Air Tonight.
That sounds better than just tennis grunting.
I don't know. I thought that it was a good way to kick it off.
I hope you guys have been enjoying the Australian Open on free-to-air television, Channel 9.
Absolutely.
We are a free-to-air podcast. We talk about free-to-air content. This falls under that umbrella.
It certainly does. In fact, some would call it the highlight of free-to-air television.
I'd say it's one of the only things keeping it alive. And without these pesky KO sports streaming, Stan sport streaming services coming along.
Capitalist pigs.
Yeah. If they keep their noses out of it, we might have free-to-air television for a long time to come.
We could do.
Because tell you what, it's not Resident Alien keeping the free-to-air boat afloat.
It's not I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
It's not maths. It's kind of maths.
It's not Big Brother. Oh, is it maths? Yeah, I guess so.
Maths is a big one.
Maths is a big one.
But I mean, could also easily go to a Netflix or a Stan. Maths, I mean.
Yeah, is maths on, what's that, on Channel 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. They don't have a strand. They're on Stan. They're Stan, aren't they?
9?
Yeah.
Well, put it this way. We're talking about sport on free-to-air television.
Yes.
If you miss a tennis match and you want to watch the full match replay, the only way you can watch the full match replay is
9 now.
No.
Oh.
It is so 9 now has full match replays from last year.
Oh, shit.
Which no one cares about because it was a year ago. They're banking back like 5 years. They've got a lot of them. If you want to say you're at work yesterday and you missed Kyrgios and Mcconaughey light up the doubles arena, you want to watch a full match replay of that, you have to get a Stan Sports subscription.
What?
Which, who in the world has a Stan Sports subscription?
I think maybe 0.0001% of the population who watch Super Rugby.
Yeah, that's all. It's the most obscure fucking platform I've ever seen.
Is that the only sport they offer apart from like tennis replays?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, literally no one knows because there's fuck all on there. Like, you've got KO, which has everything else. It has NRL, it has cricket,
basketball.
It has basketball, it has everything else. And then Stan Sport is like, oh, there's a hole in the market here. We'll have tennis replays and Super Rugby.
At least it's not Paramount Plus, which their selling point is, hey, we heard you like the most popular sport on the planet was soccer. So how about we give you the worst league in the world?
Yeah. Did Paramount Plus have their own Paramount Sport? Or is it just all under the same
Paramount Plus is like Viacom CBS, who also own Channel 10.
Right.
And so they own the A-League.
Okay.
So if you want to tune into every A-League and WA League game this season,
my God.
then you have to get a subscription to Paramount Plus. But they do have the new season of Dexter as well.
That's what I see on Paramount Plus. Remember Dexter from 15 years ago? We've got Dexter New Blood.
Yep.
And WA and the Women's A-League. God. How's sales going, Paramount? how's the take-up?
They're going into receivership again.
Oh, my God. There's got to be a point where you just go, streaming wars, there's too many dogs trying to fight it out.
They're all going to get absorbed by Disney in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. The mouse is coming for you.
Paramount. Going to be a monopoly.
Yeah. I think Mickey's coming for Dexter New Blood. And he'll just leave the A-League. He'll be like, you guys can exist, but you're just a A-League streaming service.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Most clinical serial killer on screen? No, it's not Dexter. It's the man with the big black ears.
It's Mickey.
It's Mickey.
So that's what you have to do to watch a full match replay, which is quite annoying.
That is garbage.
What you can do, if you really want to watch a match, is and you don't want to pay for it, Stan subscription trial. Stan Sport subscription trial within a trial. I think the Stan trial lasts 3 weeks. I think the Stan Sport trial lasts 7 days.
You got to. That's a pretty small gap though. Like
And
you really got to know. Like, okay, this match. I know it happened on this date. I know I want to watch it. I'm gonna make sure. I'm just gonna wait until this point in time, and then I've got 7 days to watch it. Over and
Get
over
the
again.
algorithm up.
Yeah.
Start carrying the 1 and the 2. Yeah. It's also a lot of admin just to get that done.
Just watch it live.
But the thing is, like, it's doubles, so it's doubles during the day, so most people are at work.
Well, thankfully, most people are working from home at the moment.
That's true, but not everyone.
No.
We are, but that's anecdotal.
Very nice.
It is nice if you have aircon. It is nice. But it helps to tap away on the old laptop with a bit of Kyrgios Kokonakis happening right in front of you.
You know what we call it? Because you're in radio, but in television, what we call it when we're just watching TV and not doing any work, it's called market research.
Love that. Market research. I wish I could do that. Mine is like...
You just listening to fucking, not even Mick Malloy because he's not in the industry anymore, but listening to Dave Hughes and Aaron Molan. Yeah, I'm doing market research.
Market research. I just love the show so much. Speaking of radio, Hottest 100, Triple J Hottest 100 just happened.
Yes.
Did you enjoy yourself? Did you do much for the day?
Yeah, it was fine. Had a few drinks, listened to the countdown, realized I'm too old for this, but also realized I really can't have an opinion on the countdown itself, considering I didn't vote.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. Did you vote last year?
I think so. Pretty sure I did.
I think this is the first year I haven't voted
in quite some time.
In a long time, like probably since I started voting. But it was truly the year of like, oh, I'm too old. I'm either out of touch or all of this is actually shit. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
It's really bad or I'm really bad.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of the two. Because, yeah, I mean, like, is it truly a blemish on songs if they're so popular on, like, TikTok that they feature in the top 20? Like, number one artist from last year was Billie Eilish, which not my cup of tea, but I was like, all right, I get why people get around it.
She's an artist.
But it's also, I don't see how this is promoting Australian music. Like, the whole point of the Hottest 100 is to promote not only the most popular artists, but like to prioritize up and coming Australian talent rather than big American industry plans.
Yeah, you don't want Kendrick to win. You want Matt Corby to win.
Yes.
But then also it's a democracy. So you can't push Aussies to the top if Kendrick is actually more popular. This was the first year I had no idea who even like the top 3 options were. You know, usually it's like, oh, what's going to get it? Is it Thrift Shop or King Kunta?
Yes.
You know, like you're across the big ones. I just couldn't fucking tell you this year.
I think the
Kid Laroi, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't really.
You know the song if you heard it.
Oh, I know it. Like, I actually went on a Kid Laroi. I was like, well, okay, what's this kid all about? I'm feeling this feels like a very old boomer take. Well,
Yes.
This is Kid Laroi, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, no, his name's a kid, so he must be a whippersnapper.
Yeah, this young indigenous kid. But literally looking at the list now, it's like, don't care, don't care, don't care. Vance Joy, don't care, don't care. Tyler the Creator, don't care, don't care. Gorillas, don't care.
Did Gorillaz even get into it?
Probably not.
No, they didn't, because I think they only had like 2 singles released last year.
That's all of my vote. Like, even last year, my votes were like just artists from, I suppose, our youth, which is sad to say now, but who happened to release an album that year. So like The Strokes happened to, Gorillaz happened to release an album, and I think like Tyler the Creator or someone like.
Yeah, I think Igor was 2020.
Yeah,
So
it's
it would have
like
been the 2021.
you're just picking like, or like, I know like Killers happened to release a good song. Like, none of them are up and coming artists anymore. They're just like bands at the end of their run, still releasing music, and you're like, I remember them.
But yeah, I suppose the one redeeming quality is that we had the greatest kids entertainers we've ever seen who happen to be Australian doing a cover of the biggest Australian artist at the moment, go number 1 and break all the records.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I like all of that on paper, amazing. Like, it's, you know, it's how it should be. There's an Australian artist at the top covering an Australian artist. The Wiggles need it's like the Wiggles getting an Oscar. You know, it's like Will Smith finally getting an Oscar just to go, thank you for your service.
Gotten the recognition they deserve.
Yes, maybe Men in Black 4 isn't that good, but here's an Oscar just for being around for 30 years.
Just for being a nice guy that everyone likes.
Just for being a box office draw.
Although, jumping tangent, I feel like people have gone, like the Will Smith stock has dropped a lot in the past couple of years.
Oh, big time.
Nelson Mandela, him doing a really bad Saffir accent, wasn't? Why are you locking me up?
Did he play No, Morgan Freeman played
Oh, he
Nelson.
did, yeah.
You racist motherfucker.
Who did? Dude.
It's either Will Smith, Samuel L. Jackson, or Morgan Freeman. The 3 black actors.
Well, they're all siblings.
They're all from the same family, right? That's what I'm. Can you play Hitch and then also win an Oscar? Can you be the Fresh Prince and also be King Richard?
I mean, put it this way: McConaughey was in Failure to Launch. He was the rom-com fuckboy of the noughties of the 2000s, and then just became, in the space of 12 months, the best actor on the planet.
He went, I've got AIDS.
I can actually act.
I got Dallas Buyers Club.
I got True Detective.
Hold up, cowboy.
I got Interstellar.
I got Interstellar. Green Lights. Read my audiobook, Green Lights, where
I talk about getting molested.
I talk about getting molested in the first 8 pages, and I kind of just brush over that. Then we get on with the rest of the book to when I got signed for Failure to Launch. I think it was a reference to my virginity.
Was it? Was that a biopic about?
Failure to Launch with Kate Hudson was
Was about me at 38.
about me.
Being a virgin, and I just
I felt like my sexual awakening was never really launched because it was with a old man in the back of a pickup truck.
My libido was put on lay-by for a good 20 years because I was fucked like a little rag doll by an old man.
Ever heard of sexual stunting?
Go Longhorns.
I never really experienced puberty the way that normal kids did.
How did you experience puberty, Matthew McConaughey?
Well, all the girls wanted to fuck me, but I said, I only fuck old man.
I don't even fuck them. I let them fuck me.
They fuck me in my tight little butthole.
Why does he sound a little bit like...
A pilot.
No.
So,
This is a captain speaking. We're about to land in 22 minutes, but before we do, could I just get the oldest uncle on the plane to come to the cockpit and really make it a cockpit? Over.
we have a literal failure to launch. The engines are not working, and I've been fucked in my ass again. Okay, over and out.
It's got to be one of the worst bits we've ever done.
Pilot McConaughey.
The point is that What was the point? That he won an Academy Award after having been typecast for his entire career. Is this Will Smith's time to shine?
It could be.
And then tying it back to the previous point, that's kind of the metaphor for the Wiggles finally getting the recognition they deserve.
Well, it is. It is. It's.
But is it also a bit of a joke?
Look, I don't think that just because Mcconaughey did failure to launch, and I am tying this all back together. You can say it for the Fresh Prince as well. I don't think just because Fresh Prince does Fresh Prince, iRobot doesn't mean that he also can't win an Oscar for King Richard, because it's appreciating diversity. Just because you don't have to be Daniel Day-Lewis or Anthony Hopkins, who can't do comedy, to be able to win an Oscar. In the same vein, the Wiggles don't, just because they do fruit salad, yummy, yummy, doesn't mean they can't also, I guess, win Hottest 100 for Elephant by Tame Impala.
It's just, I think you're fighting an uphill battle if you're an actor who's known for one flavor of, or just known as doing a particular, like you've got a certain range and then trying to push that range to get the Academy Award. You're better off doing it like Nick Cage did, getting the Academy Award early and then just going, we're going to go steal the Declaration of Independence.
Then go and bunch up.
Just going, you guys heard of Ghost Rider?
Yeah. You win your Oscar at like 24, and then you go, all right, the rest of my career, I'm going to go mental.
I'm going to take any script that comes in the door, no matter what it is.
Script. Nick Cage, here's this film where you turn into a dog, and then you have to act like you're a dog, but then also steal the Declaration of Independence.
Is that two different movies mashed up? Or?
And Nick Cage's agent goes, take it, dog.
His agent's like, don't do it. He's like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I gotta flex.
I'll do it. I've already won the Oscar. It doesn't fucking matter. My question with the Hottest 100, because we are still on it, to bring it back, do you buy that that was the song that most people in Australia voted for?
I mean, that's
do you buy that it's not rigged?
That's what the voters say.
Well, okay, a few points.
What's the okay, so you go.
Well, the Wiggles are in the studio. You've seen the video where the Wiggles are in Triple J Studios.
Fruit salad.
Yeah, no, I don't mean when they're performing. I mean after they accept the win. After they get number one,
yes, I'm with you.
They're in there and there's streamers and there's confetti. And then Bryce and Ebony are talking to them.
You think it was a plant?
Well, I mean, obviously Bryce and Ebony know who's going to win. Triple J know. They've counted the votes.
Yes.
Are the Wiggles really sitting there in the studios pre-interview before it goes off being like, I wonder if we won here? What would they get us in if we got number 2?
Do you think the number one person is told that there's a chance that they're going to win? So like either be available for a phone call, video call, or come to the studio. Like the Kid Leroy wasn't there waiting in the wings,
but he got number 2. So they only get the number one person into the studio.
But is that I can't remember another time when they've had the number one person in the studio.
The Rubens did it. They were in there. And would you
most underwhelming number one of all time?
Hoops, kill yourself. No one remembers. But do you really, as a band, like all fly out to the studio, make yourself available for maybe getting number one, or are you like, if we're going to be there, I'm pretty sure we're number one?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a handshake under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was a feeling just around the Triple J studio where they were just like, possibly it could have been rigged. Maybe they got like third amount of votes or something, and they were just like, this is going to be good for Australian music and culture to have the Wiggles at number one.
And a great meme, right? They're like, how much bigger of a story is it? Wiggles take number one, then Kid Leroy, Bieber take number one. Like, if they were neck and neck, you're giving Wiggles a bump up.
Sure.
You're creating some burner accounts and voting them up. Thomas.Farrelly123 at gmail.com. Wiggles number one.
Wiggles fans 1. Wiggles fans 1-0.
You're making some bots and you're pushing them to the top. You're getting Anthony and Murray up there.
Or just burning a few Kid Leroy votes.
Yeah.
Even though they're digital.
But you can throw them in the digital recycling bin. It is funny when you look at, because when I look at the list from this week, it's like, okay, again, don't know, Vance Joy, don't know. I feel like it's either me being out of touch or they're all shit. But when you look back at, because they've been promoting the 2001 Hottest 100,
Yeah, okay.
as in a 20-year reunion.
Sure.
And you look back at that, and there's fucking
Nirvana,
Chili Peppers, The Strokes, Chili Peppers,
Grinspoon, Probably
Grinspoon,
Powderfinger, Silverchair.
all bands, all songs that are actually still listened to now and like genuine hits. It's like real music. Obviously you can't tell the future, but I just don't see the fucking current list being listened to. I feel like they're all pretty forgettable and they won't be being listened to in 20 years' time.
It's just not our playpen anymore, Tom.
It's not. We're really not the demo anymore.
No.
And when I hear Ebony Wadu talking to the Wiggles, I don't know if her voice making me want to kill myself makes me old as well, but fuck me, she is an unlikable presenter. And
That's the most baffling thing is like, and again, it's subjective, but I feel like the presenters on Triple J are so obnoxious. Like they found people with the exact, like all cut from the same cloth as far as maybe they're different people with different walks of life, but they all sound very, very similar.
they go through the Triple J media training.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh my God, that was such. There's a guy on TikTok who does really good impersonation. He's like, oh my God, what a tuna sandwich.
Yeah. Absolute tuna. Oh my God. And what I'm going to need you to do, Lunchtime Legends, text in to 04757355 and let me know how you're going.
We've got Austin from Wollongong calling in now. What was your song request?
Yeah, g'day Ebony, g'day Wado.
Where are you today listening to the Hottest 100?
I'm just frothing at the work side. Other boys are actually just up and about around the esky.
Oh my God, it sounds like not a lot of work's getting done.
Ebony, we work hard, we play hard.
Oh, that's so, I've never heard that before. That's so original.
You! So can we hear Cage the Elephant by Floodlights, please?
Sorry, you're breaking up there. We're just gonna have to cut to our next fan. This is Stacey, all the way from Bendigo.
Hey, Ebony.
Oh my God, hey Stacey, how's it going?
Good, so good. So pumped to be on the Jays.
Oh,
Woo!
we're so happy to have you here. Can you tell us what you've been bopping lately?
Honestly, this year it's been all about self-reflection and looking inwards. So a lot of Amel and the Sniffers.
Oh, yes, Queen.
And along with Amel and the Sniffers, we've been sniffing Amel to make our buttholes looser and give ourselves head spins.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I never even made the connection between the band name and the drug.
Yeah, it's actually a direct correlation, Ebony.
That's crazy. Well, Stacey, thank you so much for calling in. Right now, we're just going to play Hurt by Amel and the Sniffers. You're listening to the Jays.
I hurt myself today.
It's Johnny Cash. The one thing I'll say is Amel and the Sniffers is a fucking good band.
I get it, but I don't dig it. It's very Sid Vicious. Very fucking.
You're not really into punk, though.
I'm not into punk, no. I've never, and like, again, not my bag, not my thing. I can appreciate it from afar, just personally not my thing. Yeah. But I know she's doing the rounds.
Yeah.
Good old Amel and the Sniffers.
Harry loves her. Infatuated.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's in love with
Shout
Amel.
out to Harry. Harry is the biggest Amel and the Sniffers fan I've ever met.
That concludes our Triple J conversation.
Yeah. Look, we're old. Triple J's garbage. Like, you've probably heard this through multiple different voices for the past 15 years. It's repeated. It's recycled. It's said in many different ways. Get over it.
You know what they say about cycles is they're cyclical. We're going to die off, get grumpy, get curmudgeon-y, get jaded, and some new people will come through, and then they'll do the same as us.
We could go back and forth on this until there's a new strain of the COVID. Of the COVID.
The COVID.
Of the COVID. We could go back and forth like it's a bloody tennis match. Or we could talk about tennis matches.
We could. Or before we even do any of that, we could read out some reviews from last week.
We could, yes.
How about that? This review is on episode 49, COVID Cowboys. Resident reviewer Christian Rees.
The Animal Chin.
The Animal Chin of San Clemente, California. Boys, welcome back. Such a pleasant surprise to awake early today and find a new episode of my favorite potty. Glad to know I wasn't the only one who was impacted by the Omni variant. Nobody in my house tested positive, but we did have a direct exposure that forced us into a 5-day quarantine
Oof.
in our relatively small home with our young kids, which was hellacious.
Wait, the Animal Chin has kids.
Yeah, that threw me as well. Can you get a new do you reckon Animal Chin will get a new generation onto the podcast? Onto OTAT?
If you're a responsible parent, would you let your child listen to this podcast?
No. If he's using words like hellacious as well, you can tell the man's got a high IQ. Probably wouldn't do a thing like that. Nobody in my house tested positive, but we did have a direct exposure that forced us into a 5-day quarantine in our relatively small home with our young kids, which was hellacious and maybe in a way worse than Rona. Only to have the CDC change the rules quarantine the day we ended to just masking up with no lockdown. Cool. Anyway, fun to hear about your antics over break, and I'll definitely be watching the Licorice Pizza, 10 out of 10 chili margs and rapid tests.
Beautiful.
It's good to know that it's not just Australia that goes through insane changes, regulatory COVID changes at the drop of a hat.
Well, no, it's a worldwide pandemic.
Well, it is, isn't it?
But
they have
we're
the CDC, we have the CHO.
But yeah, at the end of the day, we're one of the most tight butthole countries, as when and not in the good workaholics way. Like the anus is very tight when it comes to regulations and lockdowns and.
You know what Australia needs? A bit of amyl in the sniffers.
Oh yeah,
Loosen up that tight butthole.
little bit of. How about no more Triple J? How about we just get the JJ?
Yeah, very good. So thank you, Animal Chin.
Yeah, thanks, Animal Chin.
Good to hear you've got kids.
Quick question on that. Omni or Omi?
Omni.
Is it Omni?
It's Omnicron.
Are you sure about that?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's Omicron. I just want to clarify because I hear everyone say Omnicron, and I'm pretty sure it's Omicron. Only because I think they're all based on Greek letters.
Interesting. Which is a Greek letter for O.
Well, it's just
Omicron.
Omicron is a letter.
Or it's Omnicron.
It's not Omnicron.
So you're sure now?
I'm pretty sure that it's based on Greek letters, so it's Omicron. I'd love for someone to correct me. Fucking come at me.
If Jamie would fucking Google something for once, he's been in the studio for the last 30 episodes. Just because we haven't talked about him doesn't mean he's not sitting there.
Yeah.
Fucking Jamie hasn't Googled anything or done his job for about 4 weeks.
We should probably check his pulse. He's been in that Santa's Little Helper elf costume, just passed out with sunglasses on, not really breathing for the past 3 weeks.
He had a big Halloween 2021, dressed up as an elf, has been hungover ever since. We were like, oh, he just had a big night and put the sunnies on.
Jeez.
Never woke up.
That shows you my attention to detail. I thought it was from Christmas. If he's dressing up as an elf at Halloween, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I need to take more recognition of what's going on around me.
That's what I mean. He just kind of sits there and you don't pay him much mind because he's so featureless.
And he's done fuck all. So it's like, why would you take notice?
He's not doing himself any favors. Hasn't Googled anything in 6 months.
Yeah.
We'll check on you after the show, Jamie. Still nothing.
He smells pretty awful.
He's starting to smell.
Either needs a shower or a coffin.
I'm surprised Dan from Trademark hasn't said anything about the elfed sunglassed man.
The rotting corpse in the corner of the room.
Thought that might be a PR problem, but it's clearly not too worried.
The second of our 3 comments this week comes from the one and only Smoked Paprika, part Australian, part Chinese. He writes in, and I'm just going to say this in my regular accent.
Okay.
Because I got a lot of heat last week.
A lot of heat. Yeah, no. I mean, it might get covered in there, but I did speak to Dad in real life. Not the most accurate Kiwi accent he's ever heard.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can live with that. I expected nothing less.
I was reading, like I was going between South African and New Zealand. Like, I think I could do an okay Kiwi accent if I was just off the cuff, but if I'm reading something, like I don't have the brain power to be able to do something while I'm reading something.
Oh, you're like rubbing your head and patting your belly.
Yeah.
I'm with
multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
Dude. Welcome back to the Dynamic Duo. A sign life is returning to normal here in Australia. Don't call it too early, mate. All I need now is the footy season to start and life will be right again. Well, we'll see about that. I think everyone needs the footy season to start, mostly because the NRL players are getting into too much trouble. So this is the only way to keep the riffraff from crossing the line.
One too many off-season scandals.
Every season.
Every season.
Every off season.
Yeah.
5 stars again for the team that never disappoints, and 1 star for Jacob's New Zealand accent. Sounded like a strangled cat. Haha. But seriously, I still love him. Oh, you big melter.
Sweetheart. He's a heartbreaker.
Oh, just give me amyl and fucking do your business. This podcast brings order to a fucked up mess of COVID in Australia. Licorice pizza sounds like a 1970s retro delight. I'd love it. Looking forward to podcast episode 50 and beyond. Ellipses. Peace out. Dude, you get cooler every week.
Every single
Can
week.
you be cool like your dad, Tom? Peace out.
Peace out.
One sound like a strangled cat. Ha. Still love him.
The love the man has for you is unrivaled in the Farrelly household.
Is that right? He loves me more than he loves you.
More than he loves my mother. More than he loves my sister.
Oh my goodness.
More than he loves me. And you've never met.
More than he loves just bailing out of a social social event.
I think the love that he has for you stems from the fact that he's never had to socialize with you and meet you. If you know what I mean.
So at the moment, I'm just like more of an entertainment figure than anything else.
He would love me even more if he never had. I think it's strengthened our relationship that he now listens to the podcast, doesn't have to talk to me, but just consume me passively.
Yeah.
I think that's done a lot for us.
Yeah, okay.
I think his love for me is growing, not as much as it has for you, but I'm a close second.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's very wholesome.
Side note, we did have on the weekend my sister's engagement party on the Gold Coast.
Oh, yep.
Shout out Jordan, shout out Josh. Getting married in September.
The Crookstons, is it?
Yeah, the Crookstons. Josh Crookston. And
Not
Jordan
to
Crookston.
dox them, but
He won't mind. And I don't think
the
he
owners are the
listens.
2 cutest pups I've ever seen.
Very cute little cavoodles. I was saying to Dad, it's your daughter's engagement party. As you know, Dad, not a big drinker. Not a big enjoyer of things.
Not a big extrovert.
No. I would say whatever the opposite of a hedonist is, I'd say Dad's that.
Okay.
He has a saying, whenever you start to enjoy yourself, stop.
Sorry.
Whenever you feel yourself starting to enjoy yourself, stop.
I mean, I kind of had the same like mantra when I feel myself like on a night out or like just a social gathering. If I've had one too many drinks and I catch myself going, all right, you're starting to slur a little bit, go have a glass of water, wait 20 and then go get another beer and sip on this one.
Yeah, you're having too much fun.
But just the fun thing, like,
Well,
strange.
Dad has another approach where he never gets to the point of enjoyment, so he never has to stop.
So he's constantly edging himself on social. He's just edging on social situations.
Yeah, he's always edging.
Oh, he's just ready to burst with social glee at any time. Just no.
Yeah. Put a cap in that and go home.
Yes, just seal it shut.
But I was saying to Dad the night before the engagement party, I was saying, your daughter only has one engagement party. And for his generation, he's like, engagement parties are a new thing. They didn't even fucking exist when I was getting married.
Sure.
So he sees the whole thing as a bit of a farce. He's like, I'll wait for the wedding and then I'll have some fun because your daughter only gets married once. Engagement parties really are like a pre-wedding now. Anyway, I was saying to him, have a few drinks. Your daughter only has one engagement party. He was like, fuck off. I'll drink as much as I want. I don't have to drink to enjoy myself. I'll catch an Uber home. I'll drive home. And I was like, fuck off. So I had a bit of a tiff the night before. He was like, I'm not going to drink. And then we get there on the night. And then, of course, my sister gets in his ear. He actually listens to her because, higher on the love scale.
Yeah, yeah. The one child who's achieved something. in their life.
Yeah. He's like, oh, my daughter who actually does things and has a house, has a fiance, has dogs. Maybe I'll take advice from her, not the guy with the podcast.
So I take advice from the child who is engaged, has a about to start a family, owns a
Steady
house.
income.
Yep. Or do I take advice from Peter Pan over here?
I'll stay young forever. I'm never getting old.
And so Jordan got in his ear.
So Jordan got in his ear. And then he actually he had a few drinks. He enjoyed himself. And then I never thought I'd see the day, but might have caught Dad on the dance floor.
No.
Just for a moment.
Making Lance dance.
Oh my God, Lance dance.
Dance Farrelly over here.
Dance, Lancer, dance.
Or was it more of a
Lancer.
prance Farrelly? Was he holding his arms up with loose wrists?
doing almost like Michael Jackson's Thriller or like Cats.
with really limp wrists.
Yeah, the theater.
It's close to midnight.
Just kind of like limp wristed grabbing his balls like MJ did. In a very weak vegan way.
Doing it in a Kiwi bloke accent. Heh.
Yeah.
Sham on it.
It was...
You know it. Oh, shit.
He was only there because literally everyone else in the party, it was like the last song of the night. Everyone was well on their way.
Yep.
Mama Farrelly had like enough wine, as she tends to, like enjoy herself. Just had a baby. Just was walking around with a baby that wasn't hers.
I was going to say...
No, not on the night.
Your mum delivered on the dance floor.
She didn't give birth. But there was a random guy I didn't know. Like, I think it was one of Josh's friends, just like showed up with his baby, big Kiwi dude. And then all of a sudden you see mum walking around with a fucking child on her arm.
Maternal instincts just kicked in.
Literally, I'm like, Mum, you aren't in a state to be nursing that.
Was she pretty cut?
Oh, she was on her way, yeah. Like, she was on the dance floor at the end enjoying herself, throwing down. And then Dad just kind of, a little bit of a boogie, a little bit of movement.
Yep. For our viewers who dedicate themselves to watching on YouTube, can you give a little rendition of a couple of Dance Farrelly's moves?
It was just very... I think the song was Closing Times at the end of the night. So it was a bit of a slow one to get around.
It's a sad song to dance to.
So there was a bit of... It was just this. Kind of like...
Just shrugging back and forth.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on, just a bit of this. I was like... And I had... There were balloons that were kind of weighted down to a little sandbag.
Helium balloons, yeah.
Helium balloons weighted down to a sandbag. And I got one of those, like not one helium balloon, but the whole bunch.
I gotcha.
Had the sandbag in my left hand and was just fucking waving that thing around like
the sand or the
no,
balloons?
the balloons.
Okay,
just
I was going to say
like,
you're going to fucking take someone's head out with the sand weight.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like lighters in the air, but just more helium balloons in the air, flowing those around. And one of my sister's friends just walked up to me as I'm like waving the balloons around like a madman. She's like, "I just asked your dad if he's proud of you right now, and he said no." That's very sweet.
Wouldn't take that person, whoever just asks your father if they're proud of you, because in that moment, Lance is probably cutting shapes. Like in his own head, he's
Kiwi shapes.
He's John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, but in reality, it's just him bopping his like head.
Yeah.
And then some stranger comes up to him and goes, "Oi, your kin, your offspring over there, you proud of him?" And he's probably just like snapped out of his fugue state of
fun,
of dopamine and joy.
Yeah.
He's finally gotten to the point where his inhibitions have let go.
Yeah.
And someone comes up to him and goes, "Are you proud of him?" And he his initial reaction is like, "No, leave me alone."
Earth-shattering stuff.
Oh no! I'm going to go get a water.
Yeah.
Beer. No, water. I'm not drinking tonight.
Back to reality. Oh, I've got him a maths tutor by trade for a second. You proud of your son waving balloons around like he's actually having fun and enjoying himself? Absolutely not. No. Are you having fun? No. Don't accuse me of such things.
Stop talking to me,
please.
Jordan, you got any raw oats in the cupboard? You got running water?
I got home the next morning because I stayed at Jordan's house. Got home at like 9 after a late-ish night. And I was just fiending like some KFC or some grease because I was a bit hungover. I walk in the door to mum and dad's house. What do I see? But dad's sitting there, raw oats,
tap water,
grapes, tap water. I'm like,
oh, grapes with it?
Yeah, grapes.
Woo.
Tap water.
Upgrade.
Oats. Yeah, a bit of an upgrade. But I was like, how is that your hangover feed? This is what you have before you go to the gym.
No eggs? No
oil, no bit of fat, bit of bacon, Nope. Tap water and ice. I'm like, I will never understand you. We couldn't be more different as people.
And that's a vegan dish.
Yeah. And I still wouldn't go near it. So good night had by all. Pap, thank you for the review. Fantastic stuff. Should we talk some tennis?
We may as well. We've been going on for an hour, so...
Are we on an hour now?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit of tennis.
Let's talk the Australian Open. Let's actually review the stuff that we said we would review at the start of the episode.
Yeah. Let's not call this the Triple J episode. Let's call it the AO episode. What do you make of your Kyrgios and your Mcconaughey doubles pairing.
It's funny because we kind of gave Nick Kyrgios a review last year with Reputation Rehab. If you haven't listened to that, go check out that episode. Don't know the number. You go figure it out.
Yeah, do your own research.
But I'm pro Kyrgios. So like I enjoyed seeing him playing at the level he was playing at. It's great to see them at the time of recording. They're in the semi-finals. I think by the time this goes up or is live, they'll be playing the semi-finals. Hopefully, playing in the final. It was great. I think Kyrgios seems to play his best tennis. I could say here, he seems to play his best tennis when he has to worry about half the court.
Pretty accurate, yeah.
But when he's playing with like his his brother in arms, Mcconaughey.
Yeah. If you watch that game, that semi-final game it was a Kiwi Venus
and a German,
which I didn't know they did. I didn't know different countries paired up for doubles.
I suppose if your talent pool's not big enough.
Yeah, I suppose New Zealand is fucking, the size of a rock. No one really does anything there. So you need to enlist the help of some Germans of all people.
Except sound like a strangled cat.
Yeah. I watched that game. I caught the second half of it. Say what you will about Kyrgios, and I have, and we know I'm pretty anti-Kyrgios.
We know your opinion on Kyrgios.
We don't need to rehash that, but say what you will about him. I've never seen a doubles match, let alone a tennis match like that in my life.
It was wild, man. It's for a sport that's meant to be, and I think we spoke about this, the reason why he's not well received in just the public eye is because tennis is a very traditional sport.
Yeah,
where you have to have a certain level of decorum, composure, and anything that shows any lack of composure as far as throwing your tennis racket, spitting the dummy, blowing up at any point in time, talking back to the umpire, you kind of met with negative response.
Yep.
But
unsportsmanlike contact.
Exactly right. But the crowd was absolutely feeding off Kyrgios, and Kyrgios was feeding off the crowd the entire. Like they were wild. Like the amount of times the umpire had to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, settle the fuck down."
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to kick. You can't kick us all out.
It's big mob mentality. And when when Kyrgios has the crowd eating out of his hand, and everyone there is there to see him. If you've got Kyrgios hyping everyone up, arms up in the air, going, "Come on, motherfuckers, let's go. I want you louder. I want you out of your seats." And then the umpire, who nobody knows, saying, "Quiet, please. Players are ready. Players are ready to serve." Who are you going to listen to? People are literally, great atmosphere. Never seen anything like it. But it's not all good because you've got these fucking kids there. Because it's a whole different tennis crowd. Like it was like an NRL game.
It was. I said this to you, I think last night maybe. It seems like Australia was hungry after a pretty underwhelming Ashes Test series.
Yeah.
So now they transferred any of the.
When you say underwhelming
is in like
we won too convincingly.
Exactly right. I'm not saying that it was boring or anything. I'm just saying that like the other team didn't put up a good fight. So what you'd expect from the Ashes series, you probably didn't get. So you had this excess energy left over that you just take straight into the AO.
Yeah. And when you look into the crowd, a tennis crowd, and you see the first 10 row is full of mullets and like young dudes in like linen shirts and vapes in their hands. It's like, this is not a tennis crowd.
Yep.
This is a different breed. These are Kyrgios fans, not tennis fans. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. Kyrgios kind of hangs his hat on it and he's like, tennis has been really bad at bringing other personalities into the sport and it's been boring for so long and I'm bringing entertainment. And that's all well and good, but I think it's so new right now and Tennis Australia haven't figured out, okay, it's great because the ratings are through the roof. People actually give a fuck about doubles. I haven't watched a doubles match in my whole life.
No.
It's always been the little learning impaired cousin. But it has always been the little ugly duckling.
It's been the adopted sibling that no one really cares about, but still comes to family events.
Yeah. He's there. Doubles is there. but he's no
He's
singles.
got the surname.
He's got the cert. He's still there.
But is it really tennis?
But he brings along his little fucking imp of a friend, and then they're like, "We're gonna do this together." And you're like, "I'd rather."
It's actually a solo show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to do it together. All right.
Okay. It's the opposite of like a dinner date where it's a couple's dinner date. It's a singles dinner date. You're not supposed to bring your partner, and then double shows up with his partner, and you're like, okay, you can be here. Just know you're not going to get the same attention as a singles.
Yep. Saturdays are for the boys, and then someone
Yeah.
brings along
That's
their better half.
A way better metaphor. So people care about doubles now. Nadal was playing at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
Nadal was playing on all channels, and then through the match as the Cox, the Cock and the Kyrgios got going.
Special case.
The special case, they replaced every single channel. They replaced the Nadal game with the Kyrgios game. It's like that's never happened.
Never.
Ever. You don't just knock Nadal off his fucking podium.
We're talking about
go on 5 sets as well. Like
talking about the biggest tennis player on the planet at that point in time because Djokovic wasn't allowed to play.
No Federer.
No Federer. So Nadal's the biggest draw
Nadal
at
is
AO.
the biggest draw, and Kyrgios comes through in a doubles game and knocks him off his podium. So it's wild. No one's ever seen it before, but that part of it's good. Yeah, doubles is alive. Okay, awesome. The bad of it is these fucking kids in the crowd yelling, "Sue!"
Oh.
You seen that shit? It's I can't fucking stand it. For the uninitiated. If you've heard a lot of boos during this Australian Open, they're not actually boos, they're soos, which is what Cristiano Ronaldo does after he scores a goal.
I'm surprised you know that.
Only
Not a
through
big
tennis.
not a big soccer
Not
fan.
a big soccer guy, but I know that much. Yeah, he does that. And it's Kyrgios kind of encouraged it at the start a little bit. He's like, he didn't hate it. But now what you get is all these fucking 18-year-olds as Kyrgios' opponents go to serve, literally booing as they're about to hit the ball. Like, it's the most unsportsmanlike, untennis thing. If a player's serving, you shut the fuck up. You don't literally try to put them off.
Yes.
And if I'm Kyrgios in that moment, I know that him and Cock have been like, we want you rowdier, we want you to get up and about. You have control over that whole crowd as Kyrgios. It's like Travis Scott having control over an entire crowd at his show.
Okay.
Everyone's there to see him. Do some crowd control and say, hey guys, don't yell when the players are about to serve. I'm fine with everything else. Just don't literally try to put players off. Because Medvedev came out after his game with Kyrgios and he was like, they were literally booing me between my first and my second serve. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I was definitely laughing when anytime he went up, like I think it was the Kiwi bloke, might have been the German bloke in the doubles game. Anytime he'd throw the ball up for a serve and then it was off, and he was he was clearly rattled because he did it like 3 times in a row where he threw his ball up to serve and then it was off, and the whole crowd was like, "Hey, you fucking idiot!
Yeah.
Can't even throw a ball up properly."
Literally. And then Kyrgios blew up about it as well. He's like, he went over to the umpire. He's like, how are you letting that happen? He's throwing the ball up like this fucking 5 times. Like, what's the go here? So again, him blowing up about it, his fans will follow his lead and blow up about it as well. But they're just hanging on every single thing that happens, putting off the opponent at every single moment. They're just literally, Kyrgios couldn't be more the Billy Madison. It's literally the film Billy Madison playing out before everyone's eyes. Because you've got the old golf crowd who are like, golf is a gentleman's sport.
You mean Happy Gilmore?
That's what I mean, sorry.
Good, you're right.
Happy Gilmore.
That's what I'm here to do.
You've got the old golf crowd. This is a gentleman's sport. You're not supposed to act like this. He's signing girls' titties after the show and he's fucking, he's a rock star. And then he's like, all the young... Yeah.
I'm going to play some golf.
It's literally the exact same thing because Happy brought a young crowd of non-golf people into golf. Put the sport in front of more eyes. Kyrgios is doing the exact same thing. All these kids have never watched a tennis game in their life, but they're getting pissed at the tennis. Does the sport need that or want that? I don't know. But he's definitely filling more seats and exposing the sport to more people.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I also think the crowd being so wild might have something to do with the fact that that whole city of Melbourne was just in lockdown for the better part of last year. So they've just got all this this unbridled energy, like it's palpable, it's bubbling to the surface to the point where they're ready to erupt.
Yeah.
And then you get the most polarizing character in the sport on the court, and they just let loose.
I think that's something to do with it. That's what Kyrgios keeps saying. He's like, I'm just putting on a show. I don't give a fuck about... He's all but given up on being a number one tennis player on his own. In singles, he's all but given up on winning a major.
At like 24.
He's 26.
Is he 26 now?
He's 26.
True.
So he's past his prime. He's not going to do it.
What do you mean he's past his prime?
I'm saying...
Have you seen Federer and Nadal for the past 10 years?
Have you seen how they train? Have you seen their bodies compared to Kyrgios?
Yeah, but Kyrgios is he's athletic. And like you don't hit your athletic prime in in different sports and different positions it varies, but I think 28, 29, 30 is when you start hitting your stride in majority of sports.
I had a conversation with shout out Roy about this just before we came in here.
Sure.
Roy reckons he's willing to put money down on the fact that Kyrgios will win a major this year.
This year?
This year he's going to win a major.
What odds are you giving for that?
I couldn't, mate. I don't give a fuck about odds, but I'll put 10 grand on the fact that he won't.
10 grand?
I'll bet the house on the fact that he won't. I couldn't think of a safer bet.
You're not wrong. I mean, if you're getting, the payout would be $10 if you're putting down 10 grand. Like, that's how short the odds are. I don't see a world where unless like the only way I can see it happening is if the top 50 seeds go into health protocol.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way I can see it happening, and he just has to verse a bunch of farmers.
Yeah. If he's playing plumbers out there, maybe he'll have a shot. And if COVID gets the top 1 through to 50, you got to remember Kyrgios is ranked like 114. Like,
yeah, it's true. He's not even the top 100.
No, as far as tennis is concerned, outside of Australia, like no one gives a shit about him. It's only Australia that's like, he's our fucking entertainer. He's our fucking boy. Like tennis has forgotten him because he doesn't give a fuck.
And people are still willing to give a little leeway because they still see him as a prospect. But if he's 26, it's like, mate, you're almost over the hill.
You're almost over the hill. And if you're not, put it this way, that Medvedev game he played where he won that, he got the set back and he got all psyched up and he put on a show and the crowd was on his side. Great. He then falls away the next set instantly. He fucking capitulates. If he was to fight back in that set and win it in 5, he then has to go on to play Andy Murray the next week and do the same thing. He then has to go on and play, the next week, 2 days later, play Andy Murray for 5 hours, play Nadal 2 days after that. He doesn't have the legs or the fitness to go and go and go. Like if you look at, like Novak's probably the prototype at the moment as far as body goes.
Oh, mate, cyborg,
elasto man, fucking sliding around, like shredded as fuck.
Power speed at 6'2", like he's just perfect for the sport.
100%. Kyrgios is just a dude who's. The point is he can beat anyone on his day, sure, but he can't do it. He can't back it up and back it up. And
everything needs to go his way, or else, like, if it comes down to, that's the toughest thing is that beyond any other sport, because I feel like majority of sports that where you go through adversity, you've at least got teammates you can rely upon. Whereas in singles tennis, it's completely up to you.
Yeah. As
far as if you do get rattled or if you feel like you're losing control of the match, how you choose to compose yourself and reset. It's I want to see him succeed, and like I feel like we haven't quite seen the peak of him yet. Like I don't think he's peaked, but it's just hard. It's hard watching someone who at the slightest bit of adversity, they just spit the dummy.
Yeah, because there's nowhere you can pass the buck to. No. If it's team sport, you can be like, oh, I had an off game, but my teammates pulled me up. When it's just you out there.
You know what I can see happening? I can see in the semis, Mcconaughey and Kyrgios starting to lose the match, lose control. Kyrgios starting to rage. He turns on the crowd turns on him. I'd almost put money on that rather than, I'd rather put money on that than Kyrgios winning a major this year. So Roy said a major. He's already
a US Open, a Wimbledon, or a French.
He's already lost 25% of his opportunity.
Yeah, he's lost. He's a quarter down.
He's fucked.
And he wants to put money. Like, this is when, no offense, Roy, but like, this is how gamblers win their money. They take advantage of people who don't know what they're talking about.
Correct. Yeah.
Roy might not be a big tennis guy. I can say that. He loves it when it's on.
Is he a big gambler though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he knows his gambling.
Man after my own heart.
So I
love to gamble, but I don't win anything ever.
He thinks he's got the rub on me because he's like, oh, Tom doesn't know how gambling works. And I'm like, you don't know how tennis works, but this is a great marriage of minds right now. Put the house on it, please.
He thinks he's playing Moneyball, and it's like, no, dude. Sportsbet's playing Moneyball with you.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I won my Uber Eats money the last 12 nights in a row by betting on horses. And really, Sportsbet is like, we've got this guy hook, line, and sinker. He's net down 10 grand.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I would hate if, like, you know how, like, at the end of the week, your iPhone will just give you a notification of, like, how much screen time you've had. I'd hate if Sportsbet sent you, like, a yearly ledger or, like, even a monthly ledger of, like, this is how much money you've invested.
And they'll never do it.
Never do it.
Why would they do it?
No. It's like putting clocks and windows in a casino. It's like, why would I remind my fucking golden goose that I'm suckling at their teat until they're dry?
Yeah, it's cigarette companies going, hey, here's a breakdown of all of the nicotine you've ingested this year, all of the money you've spent on them, and all of and the years that you've shaved off your life.
Yep.
Hey, addict, here's a reality check for why you shouldn't be addicted to my product. Never gonna happen.
Shut up. Give me a diary.
Give me a diary and give me some sports bet.
Would you say there's been anything else from the Australian Open that's really caught your eye, or anything that you want to bring to the limelight of our dedicated listeners?
Well, I would just say, ultimately, as always, eternally proud of Ipswich Ash.
Mate,
I think she's...
Barty's having a party.
Oh, it is the Barty party.
Mate, we were talking about it last night, and it was just an absolute... I think Pegula was her name, the 21 ranked American.
I thought you were calling the match a pegula.
No.
Like a fucking...
It was a pegulon. She got a strap on, she belted it up, and she bent the other girl over, no lube, and just fucked her raw.
No amel, just a pegulon.
Welcome to the 20th annual Pegulon. No. Girl from Ipswich, just fucking the best tennis player in the world, best female tennis player in the world.
Number one.
And smashed out the competition in what, like
an hour.
Hour 10?
Dude, I think she's through to the quarterfinals now. Either the quarters or the semis. Every single match she's played has been an hour. Or maybe an hour and 4 minutes.
Who's beating her?
Last night was an hour and 3 minutes.
No one's beating her.
Osaka's out.
Yeah.
She's gone. Who is left? So she hasn't dropped a set. She hasn't dropped a single set this whole time. So you tune in for Ash and then you fucking blink and it's over.
Yeah.
It's over in an hour. And then Monfils is playing last night for 5 sets for 3 hours and 50 minutes.
That was a match.
Monfils, the 35-year-old.
And Berrettini.
Rafa was a match. 35-year-old, 5 sets as well. Fuck, I'm telling you.
It's so funny how it's easy to not overlook, but like, because it comes around so quickly at the start of the year, you can easily miss the first week of tennis.
Easily. You're still gearing up for 2022.
Yeah.
It still feels like 2021.
It feels like the footy season doesn't start for another 6 months, when in reality, the AFL season starts in less than 2.
Yeah. The biggest gap we have is gap in sport is tennis season, because you have footy, cricket, tennis, then a gap, and then NRL. So we've got about 2 months off, which is
in domestic sports.
In domestic sports, yeah. If you're looking over the pond and you like your NBAs, and I'm sure that
Premier
ties you over
Leagues.
Premier Leagues and all that, but if we're talking Aussie sport, there is definitely a hiatus there.
Correct.
So it's easy. What I'm saying is, it's easy to overlook the fact that it's easy to take for granted that we just get the world's best here in Melbourne. In Australia, you get Rafa Nadal. You usually get Djokovic, but you don't, which is a whole other embarrassing thing that we're not going to get into.
We won't get into that today.
We don't have to touch on that. But you forget how fucking good these guys are, and the fact that we get them every single year is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Shouldn't take it for granted. And I mean, you're going to be going to the Oz Open in a few days. So you actually get to... Is this the first time you're going to go?
Yeah, I've been before, but not inside. So no is the answer. I've been in Melbourne when the Oz Open's on, but we haven't gone in.
Right, okay. So you haven't been to the Oz Open before.
So the answer is no, but I've
been to Melbourne. I know what tennis is. Oh, have I been to a live match? Technically, I'll answer that later.
Ask me in a week's time.
Ask me in a week.
I've seen the big AO letters full of tennis balls. I'll say that.
You've been to Rod Laver Arena?
No. Can't even say that. I've been on the outside of it.
You've been in the vicinity where tennis might be happening at the same time?
I've been in the city where it's happening. So today's Wednesday, Australia Day. I fly out on Friday to Melbourne. If I play my cards right, and if all the players play their cards right, I bought a ground pass for Saturday.
Yes.
So that's the night of the women's final. So I'll have Ash Barty, hopefully, again, if she plays her cards
Does a ground
right.
pass get into the women's final?
No, it doesn't
Okay.
get into the women's final. Tickets are $450. It's a roar.
Would you cop that?
I wanted to because it's a bit of a bucket list to go to the Australian Open, but my friend who I'm going with, Max, shout out Max, love you, but not a big tennis fan. Couldn't convince him to pay $450.
Sure.
And
Yep.
I don't want to leave him on the outside, and he just wouldn't pay it. So we got ground passes, $29. It gets you, it's kind of like a little Australian Open theme park. There's restaurants, there's bars, there's big screens.
You can probably do like an arena tour.
Yeah, you'll see Rafa training maybe.
The training's pretty fun.
Yeah. So I'll be there on the Saturday night of the women's final. Fingers crossed Ash is there. It should be the day, I'm 90% sure it's the day of the men's doubles final.
The Sunday.
No, the Saturday.
Oh, sorry, the doubles final. Gotcha.
The doubles final, not the men's final.
Yep.
The men's doubles final. So if the king and the cock play their cards right, I may be there for their final.
That'd be fantastic.
And a ground pass gets you inside the doubles arena, gets you in Key Arena. So as much shit as I've talked about Kyrgios, I would love to be in that stadium.
So you can heckle him.
That. And just be around the heaving nature of it all.
That would be palpable.
Yeah. And it's kind of just panned out that way. I didn't intend, again, no one gives a fuck about doubles usually. This is the only year where I've been like, oh, I'll be there for the doubles final. Who gives a shit? That's why they give you access to the game with a ground pass. For $30 you can go.
Because they're just trying to fill seats.
It's usually just like an add-on addition. They just throw that in.
You do know everyone and their dog is going to want to go to that match if they get through Thursday.
I'm going to be there. Yeah, you're going to have to be there 4 hours early.
Correct.
To get a seat. Yeah.
Correct.
So I can either, it's a balancing act because I want to enjoy Melbourne and not stand in a queue for 4 hours.
Well, I'm looking forward to next week's episode when we get a full rundown on the AO. You can be our interstate correspondent on it.
On the ground journalist.
On the ground journo, and you can give us a proper rating. For now, what would you rate the Australian Open so far? It seems like it's been pretty entertaining for a myriad of different reasons.
I would give it the Australian Open 2022. It gets 9 Sues out of 9. Sorry, 9 Sues out of 10. What would you give the Australian Open?
Yeah,
2022.
I think I'm with you there. I definitely haven't watched enough to give it a full 9 or a 10. I've watched matches here and there. I watched the Demonor, just fucking clinical. He's only 22.
Well. Yeah, he is young.
Yeah.
I think he made it to round 4 and then got knocked out by Sinner.
Yep.
Johnny Sinner.
Yep.
Great.
Johnny Sins.
Yeah, Johnny Sins. Got knocked out
Just
in the
got
4th.
slapped up by a big dick. So I'd probably give it 8.5 inappropriate grunts when backhanding out of 10. Oh. Just, I'd love someone just doing a Tim Curtis. Oh.
Winner. 180 down the baseline. Winner. So it's been great. I think it's been a big, eventful Australian Open.
It's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better. Please, God, give Ash Barty the final. Please, God,
Give the special Ks.
Give the special Ks the men's doubles final.
Yeah, stop calling them the king and the cock.
The king and the cock.
Who's the king? Nick,
which is a very inappropriate nickname.
Yeah.
King Kyrgios. That's like his Instagram handle.
Doesn't...
It's an inappropriate nickname. I agree he shouldn't have it. But so is King Gutho. Sometimes it just happens.
Kings usually don't have 120 rivals in front of them for the throne.
I agree. Kings usually have won a major or a grand final. King Wally. They've usually done something.
Yeah.
For some reason.
King James.
Just quickly on the king.
All
yeah,
right.
King James. Did you see his hair dye leaking down the front of his head?
Yeah.
Wasn't a great look.
Who gives a fuck? Like, that's, I mean, you're going to tell me that he's like the first tennis player to dye their hair?
Yeah, no, it's just wild. Like,
He's 26. Like, I'm surprised
I
that
don't
he is
get
dyeing
it.
his
Yeah,
hair.
is he going grey? Yeah,
He might be going grey, or he might have had like blonde at the end of last year and he's just dyed it back to be black.
Could be that. We digress.
We digress. And it's a shame we have to end on the dye leaking down his forehead note, but we will. We will. The show.
Can I change my rating to 9 dye leaking down your foreheads out of 10?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Consider it changed.
I'll change mine to 8.5s. That's good for Muse out of 10. Did you hear Ash Barty's interview last night?
No.
Jim Courier was like interviewing her. And he said, I can't remember his joke, but he said some shitty joke. And he's just like, blah, 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 blah. What do you think of this? And she was like, that's good from you.
As in, like, you're not usually funny, and that was surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Hamish and Andy power play.
Ah.
When someone says something funny and it's like genuinely funny, to take them, to humble them, you go, hey, that's pretty good from you.
That is brutal.
From you.
From you of all people. That's quite good and unexpected.
Well, we do hope you've enjoyed this episode of On the Air Tonight. If you have, as I mentioned, get involved. Jump on our YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and you can get read out in a future episode. Follow us on Instagram so you keep up to date with everything free to air and On the Air Tonight, including Tom's wrap-up report of the Australian Open next week.
Watch some tennis this weekend. Hug your mates. Leave a review.
And also, if you're listening to this, I mean, you are listening to this after the 26th of January, we do hope you've enjoyed your public holiday, no matter what you call it.
And we'll leave it at that.
Bye-bye.